Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. It's very hot here, but there is a little bit of a breeze. I hope everyone is doing good, especially if you live in the back country in San Diego. They're saying we might have a power outage, and that would be super bad in the middle of these huge fires. So I hope everyone is doing okay. So this video is, we're not going back to normal. Welcome to Generation Alpha. So, okay, this is just a little discussion. Nothing I'm saying is written in stone. It's kind of like the videos I did that were brainstorming. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, what's likely to happen as we go into the next decade from 2020 to 2030. All kinds of stuff could be happening. We're going to examine this. And if you have any constructive or even not so constructive comments, if you would like to leave them in the comments, my followers read the comments. And last night I made onion rings with pancake syrup, and tonight I'm making zucchini with pancake mix. And I got that recipe in the comments, and I forgot who left it, but thank you for whoever it was. So over the weekend we had a spike in the corona of 1,000, and I went to this one store I go to all the time, and guess what? There were really long lines, and I just wanted to get some ice because my freezer is packed full and I cannot stand no ice. And so I stood in that line once, and I am really having to begin to wonder if this is intentional. So, I was in this long line, and it was for quite a while, like longer than 15 minutes, and I still stood that, which was stupid. I had my mask on. But when I got home, I washed my hands really good with soap and water. And this is what I used to do. When I was a nursing student, I never picked up anything, and this is what I used to do. I washed my hands and cleaned my fingernails really good. Now, when I was in contaminated areas in the hospital, I would take a full-on bath. And then I cleaned my fingernails, and then I rinsed my nostrils out, and I cleaned them with a tiny bit of dial soap, and then I rinsed them good, and I put water in my hand, and I rinsed both sides of my nostrils out, and I blew my nose, just in case anything got through my mask. Then I brushed my teeth just to make sure. Then I had these little tangerines, so I squeezed 2 out. I keep them really cold, and I drank that down. And then I took 1 vitamin C. And these don't cost much. And what I did with this is, so okay, the rinsing your nostril thing out does kind of sting, but you know, I had done it for years. I used to be around MRSA and every vile thing you can possibly imagine. And so I sucked on the vitamin C, and the back of my tongue is a little bit sore still. And then I drank down some water to get that vitamin C in through my system, down through my bowel, just in case anything gets into my bloodstream. So that's what, and you have to trust merchants not to endanger your health, and if they can't do that, you need to shop elsewhere. Okay, so now we're not going back to normal. Welcome, Generation Alpha, and we're going to discuss that. Okay, so I was a hairstylist, and so possibly we're going to get another second wave. And I think hairstylist in a salon with no ventilation is out. Restaurants are pretty much done for, except for delivery. There's a sub shop up here, like a submarina, and they have done business the whole time. Bars pretty much done. Child care out here. What we had is we had big rooms, and all the kids would be in there. I don't see those coming back. And gyms, I don't see those coming back. But you know, there's always people that are going to be able to work. If I was still doing hair, I would do house calls. I would go to their house, or they would come to my house, and we do the hair outside. Also for gyms, we have the ultimate fitness people out here, and they jog up hills, and it can be done outside. So fitness devotees will find a way. Okay, so now what you want to do is try to come up with some kind of resale business where you're selling merchandise. We've gone through this, or eBay or swap meet. So you want to go from the working class to the merchant class, little by little. And you want to get private clients, like a little clientele of private people who buy stuff from you. And it can be done. You have to learn how to do it. There's dog sitting, house sitting, because people don't want to leave their dogs in kennels. There's no guarantee the stuff is not host specific. First of all, I don't think that exists. I think people pick up stuff from animals easily. People don't want to leave their houses vacant because someone might break in and rip their stuff off. Then they want to maintain their yards, their pools, and they want their house clean. I mean, it's bad enough if you have to be in your house all the time, but if you do, you want your house clean. And it's nothing difficult, but it's hard to find someone who can clean your house, if you're a very picky person, who can clean your house the way you like it. Now, I used to do, hard to believe, housework for a living. The last place I lived, in 3 days, I pulled that place together. Because I used to do it for a living, and I've done videos on this. And so I was thinking, you know, life has always been hard. In my own life, quite a few of the hairstylists I worked for are dead. They just didn't survive. It doesn't matter why. They used to have barber shops and beauty shops. And one of the young men, we were both young at that time, he didn't make it. And the beauty business got hard. So what I did is I tried to go into volume, where I would just do volumes of cuts. And he'd try to stay in the business where you would do a better grade client. I do that too. And life was hard. I remember one time he said, when I get home, I am just too tired to clean the house. So I clean one room each night. And I thought that was good advice. But when you work 2 and 3 jobs, you know, if you have to let everything go. And then one was a lady I went to beauty school with many, many years ago when I was 16. And she was young too, and she didn't make it. She died pretty young. She was stricken, she was a lot younger than I am now, but she was stricken with arthritis, and I finally did her in. And then the other one that I can think of right off the top of my head who didn't make it, she had a drinking problem that killed her. And the bad thing was she had sickle cell anemia, which was strange because she was half Mexican and half Asian. But she wasn't raised all the time in America. And she went to the hospital, and I don't know how it happened, but she laid down and she went to sleep on the couch, and she died. Okay, so, you know, what I think, like those 3 examples, people are not going to make it to get to the alpha generation. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, if any of you have seen the movie Gone with the Wind, the overall story was about a girl who lived on a plantation, and her world was gone with the wind, never to come back. That's like us. We're never going back to normal. Never. And so, you know, she was able to survive and everything, and it was like a saga. And so, so this was like a transitional time in history, and the Civil War was superficially about freeing the slaves, but it was about the economics of slavery and political power. And so it was a war that was fought, and life was never the same. So in our own country, we've had the 50s, it's gone with wind. We've had the 60s, that's gone with wind. We've had the 70s, that's gone with the wind. We've had the 80s, that's gone with the wind. And you go on, and now we're moving out of this period from the 2000 to 2020. That's a 20-year period, and we're moving out of that. We're moving into a new era. We're not going back, and it has to be accepted. Okay, a few things that were indicative of Gone with the Wind were Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Sons, The Brady Bunch, The Partridge Family, and Bonanza. All Gone with the Wind. And like Noah's crying bucket of tears, because all these things, I mean, they were brutal to disco, if you remember. Okay, so now we're moving on to from 2020 to 2030, and I want to brainstorm, or just anything I can think up off the top of my head, about the Alpha generation. This is very interesting to me. Generation Alpha is a label. First of all, back a long time ago, labels were out. Well, guess what? Labels are back. Is a 15-year cycle of general delineation, or it's like a blueprint. It's like a plan. It's not just coming out of nowhere. It's been coming on for 15 years. And so for the Alpha generation, this is what they are predicting. The best educated, most technologically immersed, the wealthiest, possible living arrangement without both biological and probably ethnicity. So there's not going to be these groups. It's going to be a more fluid world type system. They're going to be on their computers, they're going to be interacting, and there's going to be less division, and we're going to be more globalists. Okay, so now the Alpha generation, I'm thinking, you know, it's so crazy. What does this even mean? In the Bible, I am the Alpha and the Omega. That was in Revelations 1:8, 21:6, and 22:13. That is what Jesus said about himself. He is the Alpha and the Omega. And it says, I am, and God described himself to the Egyptians as, tell them, I am has sent me. So I am the Alpha and the Omega. But no, now we have the Alpha generation. Okay, somebody said in Isaiah 14:14, I will ascend the highest clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Somebody said that. Then in 2 Timothy 3:2, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, covetous, boasters, and proud. But understand this, in the last days, terrible times will come. So this is why all the Christians are going, what? the Alpha generation. So what I did is I just brainstormed trying to think of everything I could possibly think of for the next 10 years. More working from home, so people will be used to working from their homes. And that also helps businesses cut expenses. More home delivery of goods and services. I could see that with this coronavirus. Less home ownership. It is very difficult to get a loan right now. You need quite a bit of money, and these last three things is what I can see. Less home ownership. First of all, people are having a hard time even paying for their rents and mortgages. A larger gulf between the rich and the poor. Generation Alpha, the wealthiest generation. That remains to be seen. People will become more dependent on handheld devices. I can't tell you how much time I spend on my phone, how many things in a day I look up. And so people will, their devices will be like extensions of themselves. More interaction with virtual reality. Okay, I am not a gaming person, but I have heard that the virtual reality is very engaging, even to the point where the person is engaged to a point where they can literally have states of euphoria or depression and even want to kill themselves. Okay, I see not wealthier than ever people, less spendable income. Things could change. Harder to save money. You have to have extra resources to save money. More dependent on social services for poor. I can see that. If you don't earn enough money, you have to go to the welfare department. You have to get EBT. You have to go to the food pantries. You have to. Never in time have I seen the use of social services like it is now. People will be wealthier. Well, we have a few years. We'll see. Okay, so now less non-essential products and less luxury items. I think that's true. Go to your local mall and try to find some luxury items. Also try to find some new inventory. More minimalist approach. Okay, so people are sold on this idea that you don't need all that stuff. It's bad for you. It clutters your environment and it clutters your mind. I have worked with people who are like that, and everything is fine except you don't have a lot of stuff. Well, I have everything you need. Oh, really? Can I borrow your lawnmower? No. Can I borrow your vacuum? No. Can I use your phone charger? No. I mean, it goes on and on and on because they don't want to spend their money. And what is really baffling is over time they don't have more money. I don't know what happens there. Okay, they're saying instead of people going out, chefs will come to your house. But you could be your own chef and cook your own food. I would predict that the big picture standard of living will go down. Not people will be wealthier. Multiple families will be living in one home. Okay, if you can't pay your rent, what is your other option? You have to team up. Okay, smaller living spaces. I could see that. They're cheaper. Less ability to store food and resources. In fact, that will be viewed as a resource hog. You go to the store, what was I trying to find today? The simplest thing, and they didn't have any. Yesterday it was hamburger buns. I found one package of hamburger buns. So it's very hard to get storable food. That's why I think everybody should store now. What I see is less cooking. People just don't want to be bothered with cooking. It is time consuming. Okay, in the places I worked, one of the things I could see is that over time, not having those balanced meals does undermine your health. Okay, citizens at large participate in causing people to act in ways that are socially acceptable. Like now there's no, remember when I did the mukbangs? No, those are bad. You're eating too much. I was just scrolling around. Hey, it was some cheap hot dogs. It was a pile of fries, which cost very little. And I was very sick when I got done. And those were some of my most fun videos. Then I had the minimalist thing too of eating cans of 50-cent soup in my car and jacking the interior of my car up. So, you know, anyway, like that is frowned on. Also eating too much, that is frowned on. Also being too fat, that is frowned on. Also having too many children, that is frowned on. And it just goes on and on and on. Yeah, you're going to be more prosperous if you don't have any children. They suck up all your money. Less social interaction, like church, like large events, because, you know, you got to worry about. Now, another thing is pets. I don't know how that's going to work out. I would assume I saw the cutest pet in the world. Have any of you ever seen a pocket pit bull? That was a cute dog. I said to the guy, does he guard good? And he said, oh yeah. I go, well, how much is a dog like that? And he goes, $1,500. I go, that's a lot of money. You know, my dog's supposed to guard my house, but who's supposed to guard my dog? I don't want someone ripping my dog off. Okay, so now, when they're going to enforce this agenda, they're going to impose stiffer punishments. Remember our rapper who was in some socialist country, and some guy was just a pest following him around, staring at him, pest. And finally, you know, the guy, you know, did something to him. They locked him up. I mean, the president practically had to get him out. Okay, now, this is very bad. Harder to regroup after these disasters. Okay, the thing is like these fires, they're coming more and more often. And it's very hard to regroup after this bad stuff happening. Like, okay, this latest disaster with the coronavirus, it's been, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, August, 7 months out of the year. So, I used to work 2 jobs, and so that allowed me to earn maybe 100% more money than the next guy. How about the guy who couldn't work for half a year? Okay. Prices of everything will go up. Why? Because the consumption is down. People stop spending, the price of everything, it will go up. Okay. Okay, now, so there's going to be more virtual stuff, and also one of the things that's doing very, very well is Netflix. And I am watching a good mini-series, The Last Kingdom. So if you guys want to check that out. Also, we have the Mike Tyson fight coming up. Also, we have Meghan and Harry coming up. So that's very exciting. Okay, I can see the population being more germ conscious, and that's probably good. Also, less trusting of people you don't know. Whether it be because they might want to breach your house and rip you off or infect you with something. Less travel, less cruises, and less flying for a while anyway. Well, if people are given vaccines, everything will be okay, right? Well, maybe. Okay, so now I want to talk about space travel. Okay, you will notice that there has been very little space travel since the moon. Why is that? On the other hand, we have people who swear on a stack of Bibles, I have been to Mars. And so the thing about it is, they may think they have been to Mars, but they may have been to a virtual Mars. Or if you take off on a spaceship, you might go underground to Mars. You might go nowhere to Mars. You might be in a virtual reality of Arizona Mars. You have to trust these people. I'm taking you to Mars. I'm taking you to space. Well, okay, well, let me see a few more of those trips to the moon, you know. Okay, health care. Those are like, yeah, there's probably going to be jobs available for that. As to whether, you know, it depends if that is what you want to do or not. So that is a few things I thought of. Okay, today I stockpiled a bag of popcorn. And I finally found this. This is for facial, but I think I got this for 50 cents. I think in these packages are charcoal. Let's see, I'll try to open one. I'll try to make a big, fat, hellacious mess. If you get a bug bite, I've been looking for medicinal charcoal. I don't know if this stuff is good enough, but it's better than nothing. So if you get some kind of insect bite, this is already made into a mask. But what I'm trying to find, this is better than nothing, is powder, and you put that right on there, that bite. That could, not this stuff, but it was, I also have charcoal soap. It's better than nothing. That medicinal charcoal will draw the poison of the bite out. I want to show you something. Okay, this is a little first aid kit, and in here is a little like can opener, and it looks like a little knife of some sort. Let's see, what is this? Oh, well, it is a little knife. Okay, so here's what it is. So what? I'm going to cut some little holes or some little slits and suck the snake poison out of my bite. Remember, call 911 at first thing. But this is a pretty good little first aid kit. I got this for my purse at 99 cents only. So that is my discussion on the Alpha generation. Best educated, most technologically immersed. I could see that. Wealthiest. I don't know about that one. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.